Discoloration 101. Tips, tricks, and the best ingredients for your skin type, because discoloration is not just about dark spots. And you may not like to hear this, but it is the first sign of you looking older and ruddier faster than your lines and wrinkles or sag. Because most people, 98% of the world, we're not living in caves. Our parents did not protect us from sun exposure. We've had sun exposures from since before we were 20. And that damage starts to accumulate and overwhelm our skin and start to appear on our faces, starting in our late 20s to early 30s, if you're really attuned to your face. Most people, however, will notice it in their late 30s. Once it's a little bit, not too late, but like, why didn't we get a step ahead and help ourselves earlier on? But the thing with discoloration, it's not just brown spots and sunspots. It's actually also redness, and that is what is confusing, because a lot of people have what I like to call redness blindness, where they don't necessarily see the redness. And if I were to take a magic wand and erase all your brown spots, you would then see it. But the reality is you have both kind of happening and coexisting at the same time. Some people you see the brown spots more, some people you see the redness more. But the redness also contributes to that sort of ruddy, tired look. So without further ado, who the hell am I? I'm Dr. Idriss, a board certified dermatologist based in New York City, and welcome to my YouTube channel where I do this thing every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. So subscribe, follow along, and let me know if what you want to learn about next week. But today we are talking about discoloration, which basically shows up as an uneven skin tone. Now, very honestly, before I was even a dermatologist, I was probably 24, 25. I used to get very confused by the word skin tone. Like, what do they mean by tone? Like the tone, like skin tone means variation of your skin color. Regardless of what skin type you are, you could be the whitest of the white or the darkest of the dark, you can still have variation in your skin tone on your face in the form of what may appear as brown spots or patches or shadowing, and that can make you look older faster. So the first type of discoloration, when we're talking about an uneven skin tone, is the brown discoloration from excess melanin. This is really the brown spots, melasma, lingering post-acne marks, but also patches that appear as shadows on your face. But when you move your skin, you'll see that patch move with your skin. Now, the second form of discoloration is redness, that ruddiness, and this is from inflammation, from dilated blood vessels. Think rosacea, flushing, or stubborn redness after a breakout. But before I get into the biggest mistake I see people make all the time, a quick word from our non-sponsored sponsored, i.e. myself, because I sponsor my life, and I am the founder of the beauty brand Dr. Idriss, which is available at Sephora. And if you didn't know, Sephora is having their biggest sale of the year right now, up until November 10th. So take advantage of that sale. I will link below some of my favorite products from my own brand, as well as other brands down below. Make sure to take advantage of it, where you can gain anything from 10 to 20% off. And this doesn't happen all the time. And if you want to know more about the Sephora sale, tune in on Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be going live with a fellow beauty founder on my Instagram, Charlotte Palomino, the co-founder of Dieu Skin. All right, so the biggest mistake I see people make all the time is that they are trying to do everything at once. They're trying to treat their brown spots, they're trying to treat the redness, they're trying to add anti-aging products, they're trying to moisturize, they're trying to do PDRN. And what happens? They blow their faces up in the process. And then what happens? They get inflamed, and then their redness gets worse, which then becomes post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, i.e. brown spots, and now they've made a bigger mess of the whole mess that was there to begin with. And so when I tell people, when you're trying to treat your skin, and given that in my world, from my perspective, the first sign of aging is an uneven skin tone, start with your biggest problem. Is it brown spots or is it redness? And the reality is you're going to have to be on that routine for life, because you're never going to cure the problem. Those dilated blood vessels are never going to be fixed unless you laser them. And the pigment from the brown spots is never going to fully disappear, because that's DNA damage from years prior, usually before you're 20. And so you have to be on a skincare routine that is calming your skin down over time, constantly, all the time. And that's the truth of it. It's the unfortunate reality. There's no miracle treatment that will forever get rid of them and you never have to do anything again. That just doesn't exist. Not even my amazing products, which are clinically proven. So now that you understand that, then you can understand that your skin health is a marathon and it's not a sprint. And once you've targeted your first problem, whether it's brown spots or redness, then you can layer in other things. So let's say for me, it's brown spots. You build a routine. Now I want to add a little bit of anti-aging. we add those products into my brown spot routine, great. But now I'm reaching 42 years old and my skin's getting drier. I need to layer in extra hydration while I still get the actives to target my brown spots, great. And that is how we continue to grow and evolve with our skincare routine. So without further ado, let's start with brown discoloration from melanin overproduction. And most people think brown discoloration is straight brown spots, sunspots, lentigos, melasma, maybe even if you're a little bit more, I would say, educated on the topic, because not everybody's fully aware about melasma yet. But brown discoloration is really an overreaction of your skin from stress, whether it's UV inflammation, UV damage, hormonal stress, inflammatory stress from a broken skin barrier. And your skin is making more melanin than it actually needs to, going into hyperpigmentation. And that is one aspect of brown discoloration. The second aspect is due to DNA damage. From years prior, before you're 20 years old, the sun, the beautiful UV rays, when you were getting your golden bronze goddess tan, was actually damaging your DNA. And what happened in the process is now your cells are like, So once it gets UV inflammation, they go, and then they become hyperpigmented faster. So I don't know if you've noticed, if you're like in your late 30s or if you're in your 40s or 50s or 60s, those freckles that used to take 3 days to appear in your 20s appear in an hour as you get older, because they're quicker to react because your skin is weaker and your DNA is more damaged. So the way that you tackle brown discoloration is not through a single miracle ingredient. It's not going to be vitamin C alone. But before we get to vitamin C, the number one ingredient to use, or category rather, to use to tackle discoloration, sunscreen, SPF 50, this one, but sunscreen, because let's be very clear. Nothing you use is going to work if you're not protecting your skin from the UV light that is actively going to continuously damage your skin, because as far as I know, we all live on planet Earth and we are exposed to UV light and no one is living in a cave, okay? So sunscreen is gonna help that melanin from overproducing, and it's going to help by blocking UV light, and it is going to help minimize that triggering of pigmentation. I obviously love my Dr. Idriss Disco Block, Major Fade Disco Block SPF 50. It is going to protect you from future damage, but it also has hexyl resorcinol, which is going to reverse the look of brown spots that already exist. So it's protecting and reversing 2 in 1. I love it. It is whipped, and it is a really nice hydrating sunscreen, great for dry skin or for the dry winter months. Pro tip, never forget your ears where skin cancers can appear, your neck and your chest, especially the back of your hands as well. Number 2 category that I think people often miss when you're talking about discoloration, and they think they're just doing this for texture or for acne, is exfoliating acids, particularly glycolic acid and lactic acid. So glycolic and lactic acid are alpha hydroxy acids. Glycolic is the smallest one and lactic is not the smallest one, it's the middle one, but it's great for pigment. Lactic alone is not necessarily going to be ideal, so marrying the two is often perfection. And this also helps to minimize the look of brown spots because it's getting rid of the dead skin cells on the surface of your skin. And every decade that passes, our cell turnover rate, because our cell turns over every 28 days or so in our teens and 20s and early 30s. But as we approach 38, add 10 days to that cycle. So it becomes 28 days to 38 days to 48 days to 58 days for every decade. And we start to look ruddier. And our brown spots start to become more prominent, especially if our cells are not turning over. So you want to exfoliate regularly to make sure that you're getting rid of that dead noise on top of the surface of your skin, so your brown spots do not look as built up on the surface of your skin, and you look smoother from exfoliation, but also more radiant and brighter overall. So the combination of glycolic and lactic acid, again, I'm very much a fan of my own products, and this is what I use on my own face. The Dr. Idriss Major Fade Flash Mask, as you guys can see, this is a mask, so you can dictate how long you want to leave it on for, and you can also choose where you use it. So if you're sensitive here, don't go close to your eyes. I cannot use it around my nose because I'm very sensitive around my nose, but I'll put it on my cheeks, my forehead, my chin, my neck, my chest. I will do this especially once a week to get a smoother décolletage. It is great. Shani Darden is a nice option if you cannot tolerate glycolic acid and if you are sensitive, because it is just lactic acid. And Peter Thomas Roth is another option if you just want really intense glycolic acid swabs. Those are like expert level spice though. So if you're a beginner, I would not play in that domain. But if you are not a beginner, go ahead, get those swabs and knock yourselves out because you do look immediately more radiant. But I would limit them probably to once a week. All right. the swabs. But exfoliating, I recommend twice a week in the summertime as the UV index is higher. And in the winter time, as the air gets drier, I like to go up to 3 to 4 times a week. Perfection, okay? Now, number 3, this category is essential. And this category has to be incorporated more or less every day in your routine, especially if you have a lot of sun damage from years prior and you have a lot of brown spots. And these are the pigment inhibitors. I'm talking alpha-arbutin, kojic acid, licorice root, even diglycosylgallic acid. And these ingredients are necessary, or 4-butylresorcinol or hexylresorcinol, which is the ingredient in the sunscreen. But these ingredients are necessary to minimize pigment transfer so you don't get hyperpigmentation. And the prescription counterpart, which is much stronger, is probably hydroquinone. That is the gold standard, especially if you have melasma. But that's not available over the counter, and you cannot use hydroquinone every day long term. It's just not possible, it's not effective, it's not recommended. So you want to look for these over-the-counter pigment inhibitors and ideally incorporate them every single day into your routine so you can minimize how much you hyperpigment and you could stay more even. Things that I absolutely love, my own products I'm going to always start with because this is what I use every day and I would be a hypocrite not to mention it, but the Dr. Idriss Major Fade Hyper Serum. This is a powerhouse serum that not only hydrates but also brightens and then instantly illuminates your skin. So I do not use a highlighter on my face. I just put this over my makeup. I actually put it under my makeup, but I added a little bit over and it gives an instant glow and it is perfection. I've been using it twice a day, every day since inception, and it is my favorite product of all time. Topicals also has a faded brightening serum, which is another one that you guys can try, but for consistency, you have to use it twice a day, and that is essential and key if you want to see results. The 4th category is antioxidants, and the antioxidant that everybody always thinks of is vitamin C. Of course, but vitamin C alone, if you are not exfoliating, if you're not using pigment inhibitors, if you're not wearing sunscreen, isn't going to do jack shito. Plus, I like to marry vitamin C with other antioxidants like niacinamide. So these are your skin's like insurance policy, right? They don't just brighten your skin, but they're going to help to protect your skin against free radicals that can inflame your skin, that can make pigmentation worse. And they neutralize those free radicals, preventing that oxidative stress that happens in your skin, and that can help to maintain your skin's healthy glow. The classic vitamin C that everyone thinks about is SkinCeuticals CE Ferulic, the hot dog sauce or the hot dog water. It is an OG. It is active vitamin C L-ascorbic acid. But that's not necessarily for everyone. And if you're sensitive, I wouldn't recommend it because L-ascorbic acid can inflame your skin and that can make your pigmentation worse. You want to look for cousins of vitamin C, not active vitamin C. And you might ask me, but Shireen, inactive vitamin C is not as strong, but it's consistency that's the name of the game. Inactive vitamin C gets converted to active vitamin C once it's applied to your skin. And with inactive vitamin C, you can use it morning and night in addition to a retinol, for example, without it irritating your skin and without it causing any sort of inflammation like the active form of vitamin C would cause. So I'm talking about tetrahexyl decylascorbate, for example, which is in the Dr. Idriss Major Fade Active Seal. This is a 2-in-1 vitamin C moisturizer, but more than that, it also has 4-butylresorcinol, ceramides, and peptides. So it's going to help to strengthen your skin barrier while brightening your skin. So that is one of my favorite ones. And if you want niacinamide, I forgot to mention, it is in the Hyper Serum. Quick derm tip. Antioxidants are great to help boost the efficacy of your sunscreen. What do I mean by that? If you're wearing vitamin C underneath your sunscreen or niacinamide underneath your sunscreen, that is going to help to make your sunscreen work more effectively for you. So I would definitely make sure that you're incorporating it in your morning routine. And number 5 is azelaic acid. Azelaic acid is one multi-beneficial product because it treats both brown and red discoloration. It helps to fade pigment by inhibiting abnormal melanocyte activity, and it does help to calm inflammation at the same time. The ideal one is prescription strength at 15%, that is known as Finacea, but you can also get it over the counter as a 10% azelaic acid booster. Pro tip. Azelaic acid is gentle for most people, but for a small subset of people, it can be irritating, especially if you're a beginner. So ease into it. Don't try to use it twice a day, maybe use it once a day or every other day, and start with it at nights because it can pill. And then let's see how you tolerate it before we go full force with azelaic acid. Which leads me to now redness. This is a comprehensive YouTube video, you guys. Redness is not equal across the board, but it is a form of discoloration that can cause more ruddiness, that can cause you looking more tired, that can cause you looking exhausted. And it is either caused by inflammation, because think of your blood vessels getting swollen every day and contracting and reducing and contracting and reducing, or a broken skin barrier causing your blood vessels to expand and you look redder. And this contraction and expansion of your blood vessels over time can lead to permanent dilated blood vessels on the surface of your skin, little squiggly lines. And this is something that often shows up after breakouts, irritations, or rosacea flare-ups. So 5 ingredients that I think calm the chaos, but don't change the architecture of your blood vessels. And that's important because you're never going to get rid of your broken capillaries just with over-the-counter skincare. Like permanently broken capillaries. You have to go into the derm office, get a laser treatment for that. But for redness from flushing that comes and that goes and that you can see expanded blood vessels with, but they kind of disappear as well, these ingredients help. First one is Centella asiatica, also known as Cica, the ingredient your skin didn't know it needs because it heals, hydrates, and de-stresses your skin all at once, and it helps to boost collagen production while calming redness and irritation. And the classic that everybody loves is Dr. Jart's Cica Pear Tiger Grass Serum. This is one that has helped many of you, and I know this for a fact because you guys have messaged me to tell me that you love this recommendation. It comes in a dropper, which isn't my favorite, but it is worth checking out and trying out. The second one, it is not here, it is next to my bed because I use it every single morning, is this guy right here, the Dr. Idriss Depuffer. This one won Allure Best of Beauty. It is an arnica serum with Centella asiatica, so it's going to reduce the look of swelling and inflammation while helping to reduce the look of redness. And it comes with a roller ball, so you can help get a lymphatic drainage as you apply the serum. Number 2, and I love this ingredient, is colloidal oatmeal. So my dad is a pediatrician, and he would always tell us to do oatmeal baths because I used to suffer from severe allergies, eczema, etc. And I used to think he was nuts as a kid, but he was right. It really does help to soothe irritation, hydrate deeply, and help repair the skin barrier by replenishing your skin's lipids. Aveeno Calm and Restore Oat Gel Moisturizer, holy grail. I've been talking about it since 2019, 2020. I'm obsessed. And like I said, if you have eczema and flare-ups, you can quite literally buy oatmeal paquettes. Aveeno sells them to create an oatmeal bath so that you can just heal your eczema and help heal your skin. Number 3 is a peptide, acetyl tetrapeptide 40. It's the next gen peptide that helps your skin stay calm under pressure. And this helps to reduce visible redness by strengthening very fragile capillaries and soothing inflamed skin over time. It is not going to get rid of your broken capillaries though, but it's going to help to strengthen them so they become less apparent. Allies of Skin has their peptides and antioxidants firming daily treatment, which is nice. And it is definitely an underrated ingredient, but worth looking into, especially if you cannot afford laser treatments, which is going to be the gold standard to treating these broken blood vessels that have been there for a long time. Number 4 is zinc PCA. Not all zinc is created equal. There's zinc oxide, there's zinc PCA, and I'm talking about zinc PCA, which is your skin's stress manager. It's going to help balance oil, calm inflammation, irritation, and keep bacteria under control. And this is going to regulate your sebum, minimize your redness, and support your skin barrier's healing response. So Typology, for example, has a purifying moisturizer at 4% with zinc PCA and bamboo extract, and it's really nice at night to help calm your skin. And numéro 5, one that's going to make you smell like a rotten egg and probably ruin your dating life, is sulfur. Yes, it is old school, but it is one of those ingredients that can really help to regulate your oil production and calm your inflammation down, and really has been shown to help with redness if you suffer from rosacea. It is drying, so you have to approach it respectfully in order to understand how often you want to incorporate it into your routine. But one really nice ointment is Delacruz Sulfur Ointment at 10%. You can use it on your T-zone, especially if you're very oily, and leave it on for a little bit longer than recommended. But just make sure that your loved one, partner, romantic, je ne sais quoi, is not sleeping next to you, because they will quite literally turn their back on you because you will stink. And there you have it. Discoloration, whether you are red or brown, the key focus is to treat one concern first, get it under control, add the second concern, and then keep building your routine, not changing your routine. Because once you have those products that you know have helped you, a lot of patients tell me they've helped, they stopped working, I don't need them anymore. But the reason you look good is because you've been using them. You're not going to magically stay looking good, unfortunately, because it takes work to keep yourself maintained. So you start then building upon that routine by adding other products that target other issues slowly and gently over time. Drop a brown heart below if you're team brown, or a red heart if you're team red. And remember, none of this matters, none of it, if you're not wearing the damn sunscreen. All right, you guys, have a beautiful Saturday, and I will see you guys next week.